Hey everybody, welcome to Do You Believe on Paranormal Zone TV. I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And for those who may be new to the show, if you would please subscribe to my channel. And if you would please give my show a like, I'd appreciate it. Now tonight, I hope you enjoy the show. I have a fascinating woman. My guest is Grace Divine. Let me show you her picture. And you can find her on gracedivine.com. Now, you know, with Grace, there are so many topics I could have talked about tonight. She is unbelievable. She has written so many books. She channels art. She's a channeler. She's a direct medium. And she's absolutely amazing. And so, let's bring on Grace. Hey, Grace, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
The honor is all mine, Norene. I love you. I love your show.
Thank you. Now, Grace, before we start, she wanted to show you her doggie. You want to show your doggie?
This is Baby Boo. Say hi. She's 18 years old. I actually have 4 dogs. 3 of them are rescues. And I just wanted to show them, everyone, because in case they start barking or something and people will know it's the little doggies. They're all friendly.
Grace, I started out the show. You are a direct medium, you're a channeler, and you are an author, and you are an artist, and you also channel your artwork, which is absolutely, I've never come across anyone like you. You're a very, very interesting woman. Can you just tell us, what is a direct medium?
My definition of a direct medium is a person who was born with the gift of sight, so that you can either hear spirit, you can see spirit, or you can sense spirit, and you have dreams. So basically, it's a person who is born with that.
And when we had talked the other day, you had said, think of the movie The Sixth Sense. Is that how you can explain that, by the movie The Sixth Sense?
Absolutely. I think that movie is wonderful because it illustrates the experience of children who are born psychic and how frightening it can be. It was exactly, in my life, I was a little bitty girl and I was having this visions and these nightmares, and I would see things and they looked very frightening to me. So yes, The Sixth Sense is an excellent movie to illustrate that experience.
When did you discover that you could also channel as well?
Well, I've always, I think since I was born, I've been writing poetry, Norene, so let me think. I think I've always been channeling, and I just want to say something. I think everyone channels energy through them. So whenever someone speaks, they might be surprised by what comes out. I'm sure some of the audience members have had the experience where suddenly they said something. I think everyone's channeling. The only difference for me is that I have more discernment. In other words, when it happens to me, I realize that it's not me, that it's something other than me who is communicating through me.
Mm-hmm. And now, for tonight, she has so many books, but tonight, this is the topic we're going to talk about, is this book that she wrote. It's, let's see, Visitors, Westwood Village Memorial Cemetery. It's a visitor's review of the cemetery, the Memorial Park Cemetery in Brentwood, I think. Brentwood, California, down toward Hollywood.
No, it's in Westwood off of Wilshire Boulevard.
Westwood.
Very close to UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. And it's a tiny little cemetery, and it's hidden in an enclave behind a tall building, so most people miss it. But Marilyn Monroe, Dean Martin, Carl Malden, and many other famous celebrities celebrities are buried there.
Right. And you told me that when you went to this cemetery that you were able to communicate with them. So I'm really excited about this. Now, she also has, I wanted to show you a little bit of her channeled art before we start the show. This is, it's extremely interesting. And let me show the first picture. This is her channeled art that she's done. She is an artist as well. Now, the first one is a picture of like sunflowers. It's a yellow background.
Yes, that is I've channeled Vincent van Gogh. What it is, Norene, I paint in over 30 styles. And I never understood why earlier on, because, my story is interesting because even though I was born psychic, I didn't want to be. I refused it because it was so frightening. Now think about that. We talked about the movie The Sixth Sense. For a small child to be seeing dead people is very, very frightening because often they don't look very good. Often they look sickly. And they don't look great. And even if you saw Jesus, I had so many dreams with, I had dreams with famous, religious beings and angels. Still, it's frightening. So anyway, long story short, so what happened is I started painting, and part of it was because I had a little bit of a hard life at the beginning of my life. I went to 10 schools in 3 countries, and there was a lot of drama that wasn't related to me, and so I used art to express my feelings, and it's a wonderful way for me personally, but I ended up painting in so many styles, and it was difficult because most artists want to have a voice. In other words, when you're painting, you would like to develop a technique that's unique to you, sort of like Norene, like your own signature, right? Everyone has a unique signature.
Yes.
But with me, I started painting in so many different styles, and I didn't understand. I'm painting like Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Odilon Redon, Pablo Picasso, and I didn't understand why. And so I have over 2,000 paintings now, and they're all channeled. Most of them are channeled.
Well, let me show them the next one. This is another Van Gogh. It's the blue background.
I know. I there's some paintings that I've made that I actually enjoy. That's a huge painting. It's like 4 feet by 4 feet, but I really think it captures the Vincent van Gogh. And I feel very close to Vincent van Gogh. I do. I had a miracle happen to me when I went to LACMA years ago, and I told you, and I don't think we have time today, but it was truly a miracle related to his, there was a special exhibit of his work at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and I had a fascinating experience. And yes, for some reason, whenever I paint, I'm very good at expressing and channeling Vincent van Gogh.
Awesome. And this one last one that I wanted to show the viewers, it's alien art that you channeled.
You mean the one with the time travel?
Well, it's blue with all kinds of, it's very colorful, and there's eyes and people. Okay.
What happened is that years ago, you see, it took me, I'm in my 50s, and it took me forever to come to terms with this seeing the other side. You see, I have so much tremendous respect for everyone out there who is trying to develop their psychic abilities, because I think it's so courageous. I personally, I told you and I were laughing before the show started. I call myself a chicken because, to me it's so frightening, because when I've seen so many kinds of aliens. I have seen so many kinds of beings, and it's frightening when you first encounter it. But anyway, that particular painting series, I painted before I refused to believe in aliens, even though I was seeing them. I was in total denial until my 40s, and then I painted 7 paintings, I think it's 7 or 8. I call them Alien Prophecy. And they're about aliens on Earth before the civilization that we're in right now. And they're very interesting paintings. And I remember 2 years after I painted them, I saw a David Icke. I was was just getting into the alien, and I wondered, what are these reptilians, you know? And so what happened was I was watching, and he had Credo Mutwa, who is a Zulu shaman from Africa. He was interviewed, and Credo, he talked about his experience, and of course, I'm just going by my mind, my recollection. This is not, I'm not speaking for him in any way, but I'm just telling you my memory of it. In it, he talked about Mount Kilimanjaro and how he was taken underneath, and how he was used, or his male product. I don't know if we can say it on YouTube or where we're at. And it was used to procreate, to create hybrids. And he created a statue of gold of this female that had this very buxomy and beautiful with a bun on her head. And I was looking at this, Norene, and you won't believe it. I was shocked because she looks exactly like the one I painted in a painting I titled Mount Kilimanjaro. I swear to you, I'd be willing to swear on a court of law that this is what happened. I ran to my studio, I pulled the painting, I brought it, and I was looking at it, I'm going, oh my God. And then he talked about 6 fingers. I told you that, right?
Uh-huh.
I said, you know, he talked, and I started to count the fingers on these women's hands. And lo and behold, to my great shock, there were 6 fingers. So yes, this whole series is about channeling the beginning of the hybrid movement, the project from the aliens. And so what it is that in this painting you're showing, it's time travel. And the alien women, they actually often they don't stand up. Apparently I have them, they walk differently and their fingers look different, but they're holding these vases. And inside the vases, it's a metaphor for the DNA. And so yes, that's a long story for that.
All right, so now, Grace is going to try, she's going to talk about her experience and walk us through the cemetery and what happened with certain celebrities. And she's also is going to try and channel them at the same time, which I'm really excited. I hope you can come through with somebody. So, all right, so when you were walking through, let me show him the picture of the cemetery. I have a couple of pictures. And so when you went to the cemetery, I also have a picture of you, the bench. What's the bench all about?
Okay, so let's back up a little bit, and then I'll tell you about that magnificent bench that blew me away. First of all, let me just say that I have gone to cemeteries to take photographs, but I never go at night because, like I told everyone, I'm chicken. And I am afraid. I can feel things, and I stay away from anything that scares me. And but this cemetery, the Westwood Cemetery, was fabulous. It was just amazing. I was with a friend, and we were driving from Orange County, which is about an hour away from the Westwood Cemetery on the 405 freeway. And I remember halfway there, I started getting messages from Carl Malden. Carl Malden was an actor. I think his heyday was in the 60s or 50s, 60s, 70s.
Well, wait a minute. He was in the movie, oh God, he's been around for years, and he was in the movie Streetcar Desire. He really made a name for himself in that movie with Brandon. Oh my God, what's his name? Marlon Brando. Yes, and I love that movie. But and then toward the end, he was really quite well known for Streets of San Francisco with Michael Douglas.
Yes, well, I have to tell you, Norene, Spirit doesn't care where you're at. What Spirit will do is contact you immediately wherever you're at. I didn't have to be in the cemetery. In fact, we were like maybe 40 minutes away, and he started communicating with me, and I remember suddenly I was transported, and it was a party. It was amazing, Norene. He was there with all his relatives. I mean, I don't know where his ancestry is, but he had lots of relatives, and he was so welcoming. And if you notice, in the book and in the pictures, there's by his grave, there's a massive mist and a massive orb. But I just want to tell you guys that he's the one who greeted me daylight. So anyway, let me tell you about that bench, Norene.
Okay.
That bench blew my mind. Now, keep in mind that I was born a medium, a direct psychic, and I've always had the gift, but I've always shied away from it because it's an extrasensory perception. It's you feel people more, you feel things, you sense things more. And so what happened was there's this bench at the Westwood Cemetery that's all the way in the back. You see, the Westwood Cemetery is just like a rectangle. It's a tiny little cemetery. And in the back, there was this massive bench. So let me tell you, I'm walking by there, I'm looking at it, and I become immersed in this feeling of love. Suddenly, a cloud. It's like I was getting all this embrace, all this love, all these wonderful, incredible feelings. And I tell my friend, grab my camera. I'm going to sit down, take pictures. And so he starts taking photographs. And in the meantime, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I'm in love with this bench. Oh my God, I love it. I love this feeling. What is this around? All these wonderful spiritual energies around me. You will notice in the photographs, when, the photographs, they were, afterward, there's this golden light coming down upon me. I don't know if you can see, can you show that picture? That's a wonderful picture. That's also in the book.
Yeah.
This golden light, and then you see me turning my head to the left because I was sensing an energy sitting next to me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, and there's also like a big orb there. And then to the right of me, if you notice, there's this mist.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, all of this happened at daylight. They were wonderful feelings. Norene, I fell in love with that bench so much. I decided I wanted to be buried there. So 2 or 3 weeks later, I called to find out. And, they told me it was like $400,000. So I thought, that's way over my price range. So no way I won't be able to be buried there. But that's life. Like they say, c'est la vie in French, c'est la vie. It's life.
So when when you go into the cemetery, Carl Malden, he's there and he's ready to
Fabulous.
Communicate with anybody. What happened when you came across Dean Martin? I mean, Frank Sinatra. No.
The thing is, the Dean Martin, I really wanted to go. He was in a crypt, in a room that's open, and I got some incredible creepy feelings because every place I go, I feel it out first. So before I actually go into a place, I will feel the energy. And if it's negative or frightening, I will not go there. But I actually did go in, but with great trepidation. But I had feelings that were negative. And so I went in to pay my respects because I have to tell you, I've had dreams with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin where they've sung for me. I had a dream, Norene, which amazed me, and it was a miracle because my dreams manifest. Some things happened right after, in this plane, after I had the dream. But in the dream, Dean Martin, I was sitting with him, he was singing for me, and I started crying, bawling, tears coming. And then he took me to another table with Frank Sinatra, and he sang for me. So I also cried. But then that very week, the following week, someone called me, a stranger who had seen, I used to have a public access TV show. And what happened is this stranger called me, and he said he was a professional singer with a band, something like 12 people, and he only sang Frank Sinatra songs. Right after I had the dream with Frank Sinatra, God. A stranger calls me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The correlation. Do you see the coincidence there?
Yeah.
Not so coincidence, but anyway. So yeah, Dean Martin. I paid my respects because I love Dean Martin, but I didn't stay very long there. The feelings were creepy. So I sort of, you can see in the book, there's an alien face. I don't know if you got my photograph.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the aliens after we talk about some of the celebrities that you were in contact with.
There were some alien faces on the walls with the eyes and the whole 9 yards, and it was kind of creepy. So I stayed away from that, but there were other graves that I went to visit. The most lively grave and the friendliest was, of course, Carl Malden. Yeah. I couldn't get over how friendly he was. Now, there were spirits walking around, and there were three ladies in spirit who you can see three orbs. Do you have the photograph with the tree and the three funny looking orbs just floating around?
Oh God!
I wish
Yes,
you could
I
show
have
that,
it. I
because
do. I have it. I
what
have
it
it.
is that what I'm trying to convey to people is that on this earth plane, there are people who take care of the cemeteries. But in the spirit plane, there are also people who take care of the cemeteries. There are people who run the cemeteries in spirit, and they keep it organized and neat, and they keep order, because there's a lot of spirits in the cemeteries, right? So there were these three ladies, super friendly. I think the reason they were so high intensity and so lovely was because there was a lot of theatrical people. There was a lot of people who were extremely creative. And so they were very rambunctious and lively. And you can see those three orbs. Everywhere I went, there's several other pictures in my book. And you can see orbs. And these three orbs that they were protecting me. They were following me around. They were curious. And they wanted to show me the place. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Now, and then Frank Sinatra, what happened with Frank Sinatra?
What do you mean? What happened?
Okay, so did he talk to you at all, or did you communicate with him at all in the cemetery?
Well, actually, no, not in the cemetery. Not in the cemetery. There were people I tried communicating with. For instance, I came upon the grave of Jack Lemmon. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Jack Lemmon.
He's a very funny comic. Remember him from the 60s?
He's been.
God.
He's been around for a long time.
I remember because I loved his movies, and I was standing there and was thinking, well, I wish I could communicate with him, and I suddenly felt my body cut in half. I felt like right at the half of my body, there was acid, and I felt I was cut in half. And come to find out later when I researched it, apparently he died from something related to, I don't recall exactly, cancer or stomach related. And so sometimes when people cross over, Norene, they're still healing. You see, this world and that world are parallel dimensions, and in that world there are hospitals, there are schools, there are buildings, there are parks, there are trees, there are dogs, there are cats, And so sometimes when people cross over, they need time to recuperate and to heal, so they go to sleep for quite a while. And then, so I wasn't able to communicate with him. I had a really great experience, which really took me by surprise, because I didn't know, I only know Sylvester Stallone from the movies in the Rocky movies. And there was apparently, and I didn't know this at the time, he lost a son. It's very tragic. But by the gravesite of this young man, I was taking photographs. I was very attracted to it, and there were two orbs that showed up. And I was amazed because I really felt the second orb was him, was this young man. He was manifesting in an orb to send a message to his family that he loves them and that he's okay. And I do want to convey that from him. I do want to convey that he's sending a message that he's okay, that everything's fine, and that he's saying that he's with someone that he's like a brother. It could have been a friend that was like a brother, but I am channeling him right now. And he's waving his left hand. He's standing right here, and he's waving his left hand. And he's talking about, I don't know if he was a daredevil, but I don't know if it's anyone in his family who likes to fly planes or it does things that are a little bit on the edge for most people. So he's having the time of his life. He's saying he's traveling. In the other side, people can travel. They do all kinds of things. You see, they don't have the limitations we do here. The fact of the matter is that we are immortal souls. Our souls live on forever and ever. And so we create this universe, this three-dimensional plane, for purposes, I think, of learning and growing. Although I have to say, I think it's a little bit a difficult world, But, so hold on a second, I have to put my doggy down. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that it was amazing. I love watching the picture by Sage Stallone, because I really think his orb looks like, if you were to take any photograph from the internet and compare, to me, I have a feeling that it does. But then of thought she was a lovely icon of beauty and femininity. And I thought she was lovely, and I wanted to communicate with Marilyn Monroe. But, I took photographs of her gravesite, but I couldn't communicate with her. What I did get was something entirely different. But, Norene, can you show the photographs of Marilyn Monroe's grave?
Yes, I'm showing it.
Okay. In these photographs, there's a massive orb and a mist that is humongous. And you know what's really interesting is when I sense her gravesite, which is the crypt, I feel there's a tunnel and an opening. I feel like there's an opening, and on the other side, which I actually went to check, it's just a wall, but I believe that's a portal into another dimension, and I believe she was taken by aliens. And this is what I want to tell everyone out there. I am the #1 skeptic most of my life, I have to tell you. In fact, I wanted to be a skeptic. Why? Because I didn't want to be psychic. Like I said, people who want to be psychic, my hat's off to them because it takes so much courage. But here's the thing: it took me years to accept, to confront this spiritual world. But the alien stuff, I held off until I had an experience in a room full of 300 people. An alien experience, and I'm going to tell you now, I believe that aliens are here on Earth right now. Aliens are on Earth, Norene. I have no doubt, and there's probably all different kinds of aliens, but for sure there are the reptilian aliens that David Icke, and then there's all kinds, and in the book, I don't know, there's another book where I drew. I do coloring books. Can I just show a coloring book, Norene?
Yes.
Okay, so here's some examples, like coloring books. I do storybooks. I do alphabet books. I have 3,000 books, and I do all kinds of coloring because I love art, as you guys know. I want to teach people different art styles, and it relaxes me. I mean, I can't make any guarantees that anyone else will be relaxed, but I love art as a form of communication. So I have 3,000 little books. But what was I talking about? I lost the train. I'm talking about little books.
Aliens.
So the alien thing. There's a book. I colored a book. I decided to color lots of the aliens to show people what they look like. And there's at least like 12 aliens there that I've seen.
Do you want me to show them? Do you want me to show that to them now? The extraterrestrial aliens.
So do you have the back of the book so you can show that?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm showing that to them right now.
Okay, so in that book, I can't see it, but let me tell you some of the aliens I've seen. I've seen the reptilian. There's different kinds of reptilians. There's some that look like snake. The top of it is like a snake. It's not. There's reptilian that look more like a dragon. Like you would a kimono dragon. And then I've seen there's these aliens that look like grayish. There's all kinds of grays. They say there's only one kind. Oh my goodness, there's some, and they look like they have skin. I drew those in there. There's the shadow beings, or what I call the shadow bugs, because I had an encounter with one shadow bug, and it didn't suck the life out of me. But I'll talk about that later. I've seen the Nordics, but they don't look like the one I saw. You see, there's all kinds of hybrids and Nordics. The one I saw was like 9 foot tall. She was a female, and she had a very pointy face, and I did a drawing of her wispy white hair and these eyes that went up. And she didn't have any emotions. She was just curious about me. I've seen the Nagas. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of the mythology of the world, a lot of it is a compilation of alien encounters. So, like in India and Hindu, and the Shiva, the Shakti, the blue beings, the Nagas, those are real. I had an encounter with one. It was 20 foot long. It was frightening, and it came to my house because apparently they're connected to certain people. I was going to be doing a reading for a lady from Burma, and it came to my house to check me out before letting her come over. But anyway, so we talked about the grays, all kinds of grays. There's some very frightening grays. And then there's the humanoids. Their humans look just like humans, like we do. And then there's the reptilians. There's so many aliens. Honestly, they're like, and you know, Norene, can I tell you something?
Sure.
I went to that, we talked about it, that cemetery, the other one in Los Angeles, the one where they have the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead celebration. Do you remember what's that called? The one that's by downtown LA?
No.
It's a huge cemetery. And I went there, and they have so many crypts and so many buildings, different kinds of buildings, and nothing like the Westwood Cemetery in terms of warmth and welcoming. To me, my experience at the Westwood Cemetery was amazing. It's like I went to see my family. It's almost like the love I experienced was overwhelming. But the other cemetery, which I forget the name of it, I'm really bad with names. There was a crypt. There was this giant building that was like decorated like Egyptian style. And inside there were these little squares where they have, you know, and I remember going home to sleep, and that night I had a dream with one of those squares. I was in it, and it was Egyptian, and the walls, apparently they had put amethysts all around the walls, and there was this being, I drew him in that book, Norene. It was a female, and she had the skin of an elephant. It was green and yellow and sagging right here in the jowls. I think it's at the bottom of the drawings. And she was covered with a hood, and in the corner of the square room, she didn't want me to see her because she knew I would creep out. She wanted me to do stuff, and I refused. Like I often refuse. I walked away from it because I was, nope, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so the alien beings, they are on. My belief is that they are on Earth, and I'm going to say, I hope, you know, they come out and. Well, you know, I think the world needs help, and I want to bring positivity. And, you know, can I just mention what I'm doing with my challenge 2017?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this year, because there's so much negativity around, I decided to change the energy, and I challenged myself, challenge 2017, I'm painting 1,000 paintings this year. A lot of them are channeled because I believe spirit is helping me. I actually see spirit. And they're all helping me. I have my little angels. And I'm painting 1,000 paintings for humanitarian causes, including cancer, diabetes, the disappeared, the homelessness, the bees, nature, dogs and cats, animals, wildlife, children, everything. I want to make this year a positive year, and I want to invite everyone to do that too. Let's make it positive.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Now, you know what? There was another picture you sent to me. Was this on a wall? And what is that in the background? It looked like a gray fence or something. I did a close up of it, and it looks like there's something on that wall, some kind of an image. Do you remember what that picture was about?
Is it the one with the alien? It looks like an alien, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, where did you get that picture from?
That was right by the Dean Martin.
Oh.
And there's another one that's worse than that. You see, the thing is that these beings, they hide in the shadows. They hide in between light and shadow. It's almost like a gameplay they do. Because, see, we human beings can only pick up on a small percentage. It's either 1 or 0.0001% of the electromagnetic light spectrum. So it's almost like we're in a cocoon, and they hide. But look below it, Norene, please. You're going to see the face of a cat alien. It's a cat.
Well, wait a minute. What's really strange is it looks like this sounds crazy, but it looks like an image of Frank Sinatra and a cat.
Oh, you're kidding.
No.
Did he like cats?
Well, I could see a hat. It looks like a man with a hat. And you said it was right near Frank Sinatra. Well, Frank Sinatra was famous for wearing hats. So in that bottom corner...
But let me tell you, I don't know if Frank Sinatra's buried there. I know Dean Martin is, and this was by Dean Martin. So I'm not sure. I was talking about Frank Sinatra earlier because I had a dream with him and Dean Martin, and I feel like we are connected souls. But no, I didn't see that. But, you know, it's possible that if you're seeing that, that's wonderful because that's giving me confirmation. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
you're channeling for me, Norene.
Well, the view I'm showing it to the viewers, but I definitely see a man with a hat and a cat on the bottom, and the bottom, on looking at the picture, it's to your left on the bottom left, and they all, yeah, you can definitely see a cat, but to me it looks like a man with a hat. And the only one, I'm not sure if Dean Martin wore hats, but I know Frank Sinatra did. Now, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, they were all part of the Rat Pack.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what's really fascinating is that when I saw them in my dream, and I strongly believe in dreams because I've had so many dreams that manifest, and when I saw them in a dream, they were together. And Dean Martin brought me to Frank Sinatra, and so I have a warm feeling in my heart for them, and so that is amazing, Norene. This is a gift. You see how I remember I told you earlier that we all channel, that everyone in the world is channeling. It's just that it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a discernment with some of us that actually can hear or can see them more acutely. And so you channeled that, and I want to thank you, Norene. That's so beautiful. That's confirmation for me, because I hadn't seen that. I only saw the alien face on this cat.
Oh yeah, well the upper image is pretty scary.
That is pretty scary, the alien, doesn't it? And
yeah,
that's. I think. Remember, I told you that I think someone. It's not that Dean Martin. There's anything negative with him, but sometimes people, they go to cemeteries and I think they play around with things and they do things and stuff that frightens me that I would never do. And I think someone did something because I feel it. I feel the frightening in that room. And it's to the other corner. It's not on the corner where Dean Martin is. It's not on that wall. It's on the opposite wall on the corner. I see an opening, Norene. I see a portal that someone opened a portal and they're bringing things. And that's something that I do because when I read for people, I can read remotely and I see portals in places. And so that's what I think. And then unfortunately people do that. And so that you can sense the energy because as a reader, I'm just reading what I'm sensing. Yeah.
And now you also had a channeling experience with Elvis Presley and John Lennon. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, and that was a little bit different because I wasn't at a cemetery. What I wanted to experience their music from their point of view. So what I did is I took different songs from these wonderful singers and I connected to them. For instance, I remember John Lennon to one of his songs, and I was standing in the middle of the road, and I was experiencing what I wrote poetry in these little books I put together, in which I wrote what I'm seeing from his perspective. So it was more like reading, like remote viewing, almost. It was like, it's like if you said to me, Grace, go ahead and see if you can connect with this time and space, this location. And so I connected with them, and I was sensing and was channeling messages from them, more thoughts and feelings they had as they were writing these beautiful songs. And so it was totally fantastic, totally fantastic.
And that was with both John Lennon and Elvis. You did it with both of those.
Yes, I did.
And what did they say to you?
Well, I don't have the book in front of me, and this is years ago, but when I channel, I usually forget what I'm channeling, but I did write it down in poetry. John Lennon was talking about his feelings. There was like this sadness. It's almost like have you ever noticed there's people who are very depressed, but then there's people who are just a little bit down, kind of a bluesy. I feel a bluesiness with him. I felt like he was a little bit sad, and he's walking this road, and he's walking really hard, and it's almost like there's a little bit of a purgatory, so to speak, because when spirits cross over, sometimes they have to tie loose ends up, loose ends. They have to finish what they started on this plane. And I see him walking really fast. It's almost like he was a fast walker. And I don't know if anybody in the audience could verify this or not, but it's almost like he takes little steps, but they're very fast. And it's related. I'm seeing he's talking about his relationship with his mother, and that he's worried about his mother. There's some kind of healing. I think what I'm sensing is that the mother is still in a sleeping state. Remember we talked about how some people, when they cross over, they go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it happen, Norene. Some people, when they cross over, they're awake like this. They don't have to go to sleep. It's like crossing over. Your body, you get rid of your body, you step out of it, and then immediately you're confronted with the world, this other universe. And some people have a hard time, so they go to sleep. In the spirit world, they're sleeping. Do you know how they say rest in peace?
Yes.
Okay, there's a reason for that. They need to get re-energized, and they need to relax. And when they finish what they're supposed to do, so I think that he might still be working things out, but I feel like we should all send prayers for his mother. I don't know why. I don't know the life of John Lennon. All I know is that his great movie, his great songs, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, and all that. Yeah, but I do feel that that thing with his mother, and he's tying a bow. He's tying a bow. I see him tying a bow, and maybe someone can check to see if when the mother something about a bow or something. Did she die before or after him? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe the audience could let us know. And what does a red bow mean to John Lennon? And the last thing he's saying is he's talking about that song Imagine and Black and White. So I think it's something about getting along and finding harmony or something. But he's trying to communicate with spirit world communicates with music, and I believe that a lot of the music about the Beatles was channeled. And you know who do I think they're channeling? Norene, you're not going to believe this.
Who?
They're channeling the Sacred Mother, what some people call the Sacred Mother, the Bilja, the Virgin Mary, the Mother energy, the Mother. I think the Beatles are deeply connected with the Mother energy, and I think that's what they're channeling. Their sacred music of the Beatles is truly sacred music. So that's what I get from him. The more direct channeling tonight came from the Sage Stallone, this young man who's saying, hi, he's so happy right here.
Oh, Sage Stallone is with you now?
Yeah, that's what I told you earlier, right?
He's still there.
He's right here. Hi. He's saying hi to all his family, and he's so happy, and he's with his friends. He says he has like a bunch of family, their friends and family. It's either a friend or someone like a friend who was like a brother, like a blood brother or something is with him. And like I said earlier, he's doing all kinds of activities. He's very active, velocity, either like moving fast. I see like it almost feels like I'm going down a mountain skiing. I'm not sure if it's skiing, but it feels like it. Planes, fast traveling. He's just having the time of his life and sending lots of blessings, and he's speaking in a different language. I almost feel like it's a different language, like almost like a molto bene.
Oh, that's Italian. He's because his father's Sylvester Stallone. They're Italian.
Oh,
they're
okay.
Italian.
So he's saying that now there's another man with him who feels like a grandfather. Great personality. He's standing next to him. Here's Sage, and he's standing next to him, and great personality, singing. He's singing, oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, oh. He's singing, and he's so lively. He's you know what? Can I ask him for his blessing for you and me, Norene?
Sure.
Please, sir, give us your blessing. Your energy is fabulous. Molto bene. Grazie bene. That was fabulous.
Oh.
I think his family, I don't know anything about the family, but his spirits in the family are fabulous.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, what about Elvis Presley? Can Elvis Presley come through to you at all right now?
Okay,
do you
let
think?
me see. Let me see if I can connect
All
to
right.
Elvis Presley. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yes, I feel his energy. Oh, my God, I see him. He's standing very tall. I don't know, I see like a big sculpture of him, and his right foot sticking forward, and it's like he's moving. Remember how he used to do his little wave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And he's standing there, and he's it's almost like he could touch the stars. Like his left hand is up, and he's touching the stars, and he says, his message I'm getting is it's only going to get better from here. And he says, drink the elixir of life. This is the message he's sending everyone. Drink the elixir of life. It's only going to get better from here. Have joy. He wants people to have joy, to enjoy what I'm getting from him is a message that he wants everyone to really enjoy life. Apparently life is a precious, precious thing, and he ate it up. He ate up life. Life just filled every inch of him when he was here. And he says, I'm with you, but you gotta get positive. He's a positive guy, you know, what can I say? He's in a great place. Let me tell you, this man, his soul is in heaven and on earth. He's touching both places. He's connected. It's almost, you know, Norene, if I had to say, it's almost like in a past life, because I do read about past lives all the time. And I think he must have been like a Greek god of some kind. Or he was channeling Apollo. I'm hearing Apollo, and I'm seeing these discs. I'm suddenly transported to Greece, where the gods were, with these beautiful golden clouds, and he's throwing these discs. And I don't know what that means, because everything has symbolism, Norene. Everything we see, the direct psychic sees symbolism. Sometimes I will hear things directly, but sometimes I will see images. Depends on the spirit that's channeling. Some spirits communicate in images, so I'm seeing a golden disc, and I'm also seeing a thing put around his head. You know, like the Roman, what were they called?
Are you talking about the thorn, the crown of thorn?
It was like a little thing with like greens and golden greens.
Oh, that kind.
Like
those crowns. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so to honor him, I'm going to have to look at this up, Norene, afterward, what it means to have this little crown made like of leaves, but it's a little bit with tints of gold and green. It's gorgeous. And so he's taking really deep breaths right now. He's breathing. He said that to sing, he had to breathe. He wants to breathe deeply. That in order to really learn how to sing like he did, he wants people to breathe deeply, take deep breaths. And then use that beautiful power, the chest power that he had to express himself. And then he's saying that he's still in school. Now he studies music on that side. He studies music. He's almost like a god. He's an Olympus. And he's almost like a god, surrounded by all these wonderful, relaxing places. I mean, that's where I'm seeing him. So he's in a really good place. He's where he wants to be.
Does he sing there? Is he still singing there? He's still singing?
Yes, absolutely. His voice is lyrical. Let me see if I can. But a lot lower than mine. And it's almost like there's this wave sound. It's like the waves of the sea. So maybe people out there could tell us, share on your YouTube, why, if he was very attracted to the sea, because I'm hearing the sea and the so he's working on normalizing. I think what he's working on is this technique where you take the wave of the voice and you normalize it, so it's not out of control. So I think that's what he's doing. That he's learning. You know, we die and we learn. Everything is about learning new things, and he's learning. He's also smell. I says smells matter greatly to him. He says, "Look, I smell people."
Now, what about does he know? He's aware that he's dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Now, does he ever? I wonder. Does he ever think about his ex-wife Priscilla and his daughter and his grandchildren that he never saw?
Well, you know, he made a gesture. I don't know if I should do that gesture. Do you want me to? He went, "Aw," like that.
Oh, really?
I don't know what that means. I don't know. I'm not going to read into it. Remember, people, I only do psychic readings readings for fun and entertainment because I have no control over what they say. When I channel spirit world, I'm just the telephone. Whatever they say, it's them, and I'm trying to be accurate in interpreting the messages I get. You know what I mean? I'm not like those psychics who gives any says guaranteed. No, I'm just a fun and entertaining person. But yeah, this is what I saw him do. So I don't think he's worried about that. I think he loves them. He thinks about them. He prays for them. What I heard is that he has them in his head, and he's sending love to them and hoping the best for them and sending them blessings, all of them, all his relatives, descendants. This is what I'm getting. But he's not concerned in terms of like worried about them. Mm-hmm. He's more focused on working on his voice. He says, I have a glorious voice. And he's working on his voice. And it's, the people in the spirit world, Norene, they don't worry about the same things we do. And that's why when people get psychic readings, they get confused because they think, well, if she's psychic or he's psychic, he needs to tell me this. Psychic people that are channeling, I have no control over what they want to say. They're going to say whatever you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now, what about the viewers want you to see if you can channel Prince?
Prince? Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to try. Okay, so I'm going to take a deep breath. Oh my God, I see him in heaven. He's in a heavenly place. I see him up to my left, far away, and he's in a heavenly place, and he's looking down like, did you call me? Did you call me? And let me see, Prince, will you come down and communicate with us? Will you communicate with us? And he's saying, he is such an intimate person, Norene. It's almost like he's telling all the people that out there that love him, that he's with them at an intimate level, that when they think about him, he's actually there. He's not like for instance, Elvis Presley is bigger than life. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. I think Prince prefers to be one-on-one, intimate with the people he loves and cares, and he caresses their head. Well, he's doing that to me right now. And he says to continue working. The message I get is to continue working on our good gifts that we all have, all of us here, all the people in the audience. Every single person in the world has a wonderful gift from Spirit, and he's encouraging all of us to do better, to just not do better, but to focus and work and focus on our gifts, because we have so much to give. And I do remember that I'm hearing Purple Rain.
Oh, really?
Purple rain. Oh my God, it's had chills all over me.
Oh, it's awesome.
Purple rain. Oh my God, yes. He's sending a blessing. He says he prays for people. So I don't know if he was religious in any way, but you don't have to be religious to pray, right, Norene?
No, you don't.
He's sending prayers.
Does he is he concerned about his children at all? Does he talk about them? And what about how he died? Does he talk about how he died? Does he? And he obviously.
So let's ask him about his children first.
All right.
Hold on. What I feel, he showed me. He opened up his chest. Now, of course, that you don't die or anything, but he's showing me his heart. And he says that a big chunk of his heart is his children. And it almost feels like it's 1/5 of his heart. It feels red and tender. So he still is human. He's saying he's human through his children. His humanity. His person lived through them. Did he have children? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe he means also the audience. Everyone who sees things. He's very fatherly, by the way. I'm getting the feeling that he was very protective of people.
Oh, wait a minute. No. I'm getting him confused with Michael Jackson. Oh, my God. No, as far as I know.
With Prince, I'm not sure he had children. But
no, he didn't.
I'm channeling him, and what I get is that he feels like he has, like everyone who loves him, he feels very fast. So the message from Prince is that everyone out there that he feels like a father towards him, and he feels for them. He's showing me his tender heart. His heart's tender. Now, I don't know how he died, and I don't know. And as a psychic medium, I have to try to make reason of the symbolism. You know what I mean? So maybe there was something on this side of his heart. on this side, it feels really red, Norene. I don't know if he's showing me that because maybe you asked me two questions. And maybe he was killing two birds with one stone. One was that, yes, I do feel for everyone who I feel like a child of mine, okay? All the fans I had, everyone who looks up to me and was embraced by my gift as a wonderful artist. Mm-hmm. But also, maybe there was something with his heart. It feels a little bit rough. It feels painful. I feel pain in my left side. And I don't know if it was at the last moment or what. But did you want me to channel Michael Jackson?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's do that. All right, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, please. Let's see. Oh my God, I feel like I'm coming out of my body and the angels are taking me up to a heavenly place. So he's not coming down, Norene. He wants me to come up.
Okay.
So I'm coming up to heaven, the little angels. Oh, there's this little cute cherub angel. The little wings like this. It's just adorable. And I'm going up, okay? And then suddenly music is surrounding me. And I see that cartoon. Remember that cartoon he was in as a kid? There's this massive, like TVs. They're not TV sets. They're like movie screens all around me. And I see, what's it, the five something?
Oh, the Jackson 5.
Yes, yeah. The Jackson 5. He's in this place. He's showing me his crib. I don't know if you call it a crib, but I think it's a crib. Oh, it's a house. He's in heaven, and there's all these screens that are larger than you could imagine. He's playing the Jackson 5 and the music, and he's starting to talk, and everything's like on beat. Everything he says, he speaks on beats like he's rhyming. Boom, 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 boom. Now I'm going to Africa. He was African American, right?
Yes.
We're going to Africa.
Yes.
He's taking me to Africa. He says, I love Africa. Look at the sunrise. Look at the sun with its fire. I've been to the sun, he says. I've been to the sun. I've been my power, my magic. He had magic, transcendent magic from the sun, Norene. This is amazing. And he says, Africa is going to be okay. I'm praying for Africa and all the people and the energy. And you know what I see from the ground, Norene? Have you ever seen a mirage when you're driving on a road and it's like this mirage, like this gaseous thing coming out from the road? Well, that's coming out of Africa on the ground. And I think those are spirits. I'm going to interpret that the spirit of Africa is rising. I see Africa doing much better. In many years to come, it will be, people are dressed really colorful, great outfits, African looking, blue. I can see that. Maybe that's how I channel, Norene. Because I see these things and I see them and I have to paint them. I'm compelled. And I'm seeing these outfits, blue and white with these beautiful triangles, and it's so cool, and the music. So he loves Africa. And the message he wants to give, he's laughing, he's smiling, everything's okay. He's smiling and he's giving a thumbs up. Everything's good. And everything's, I wonder if he has a message for you and me.
What?
Well, it would be nice if we got a message, right?
Oh, well, I won't get his message.
But anyway, it's all good, and he says, keep the music going. This is the message. Keep the music going.
Awesome.
Keep the music going. Everybody, let's sing together and make this a positive world. Let's do it. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so we don't have much more time. You know what? I did want you to talk about that horrible experience that you had with the shadow person.
Yes, I had a horrible experience, and I wrote a book about it. I called the book a funny name. I called it Shadow Bugs Wanna Have You for Dinner. Okay?
Oh.
I was trying to make it funny, but it's just a true story that happened to me. I went to Santa Barbara with a friend, and we were staying at a B&B, a bed and breakfast. And towards dawn, I remember opening my eyes, and at the edge of my bed was a shadow woman. And she looked taller than your average person. She was completely covered in fabric that looked like linen that was hard with starchy linen, all black with little holes in it, so it was breathable. And the linen, because it can't bend because it's starchy, it was like this. It was all around her. It was like protective. And because I'm a medium, I could feel her, Norene. She was focused on this part of my face. I was lying upside like this, right? I was sleeping like this. And she was focused on my third eye, and I felt her desire and excitement. She was about ready to feed. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. The shadow bugs are bugs. A lot of them. Some of them are probably humanoid, leftover, negative souls, whatever. But some of them are insects. Because what she was feeling was not human. This was not a human excitement. I have never experienced a human be excited as they're about to eat. It was unbelievable. I mean, take excitement and multiply it by 1,000. This thing was like a crazy thing. It was gonna eat my energy force. And so at one point it started to grow up. Norene, it didn't leave the floor. Still attached, it started to grow up like this over me. And I was watching her calmly, and then when she came right over top of me, I said out loud, "There's a ghost in the room," and everything stopped. But I actually wrote about it in the little book, Shadow Bugs. And here's the reason why I think these are shadow bugs to everyone out there. We need to study this from history. In art, there's paintings going back thousands of years that show kind of strange nighttime disturbances. And these things are insects. They're predatory insects that are living in that world between worlds. This world and the world of spirit. They're in between. And they're predatory of human beings. And what they do is they suck out the life force. We have a soul, and I believe, I've seen my soul. And I believe most people, not everyone, but most people have souls. And these are like energy, and they can be sucked out, and they will take that. And so I think that they're insects because I was researching how people deal with possessions and with, when spirits come over and they stay in houses, hauntings. A lot of times they use holy water, which is basically water with salt, and sage. And so let me tell you what, salt is something that people use in their homes in this dimension to take care of some insects. And it's not so much the salt, it's not so much, it is the water which has life in it. It's a living thing, but if you put salt in it, in the spirit world, it translates to, that's a way to get rid of negative energy. Holy water, you can make your own holy water, just get a glass of water, put some sea salt, and say, "You're holy, I bless you," and that's it. Send good wishes. I love you, water. You're cool. Okay. So the other way is with sage. With sage, the Native American sage, it's a cleansing spirit. Every plant. See, the Native Americans believed that all plants, all things have life. It's called animism. It's a form of study anthropology. I do a lot of lectures, history lectures, art history lectures. They're all online. And I study all of this, and so the sage spirit comes out, and the bugs cannot stand it. The shadow bug. So I basically, Norene, I sage my house almost every night because I know this negative energy is just like dirt comes in every day. You gotta sage it and make sure you get a good night's sleep. You don't want to have disturbances. Spirits can get into a house very easily.
There is now you do readings for people, correct?
Yes, I do.
And how would they find, and when you do these readings, do you also channel at the same time?
Yes. I prefer to do direct readings because then I'm talking to the spirit. I'm a medium, so I talk to the ancestors, people who passed on. I also talk to the spirit guides. I talk to the animal totems, because animals live on, and some of them can communicate from spirit world. And I talk to the guardian angels, the sacred mothers, all that. So absolutely, yes, I can do that. I can channel, just like I did today.
Okay, there's one more last request that we have time for. We've got a couple of minutes left. David Bowie. They want you to channel David Bowie.
Okay, let's see if I can.
All right.
I see him moving his head very quickly from side to side as if something's around him. And he's right now, I feel like he's in a place where there's energy around him, and he needs to have a lot of prayer sent a red energy. I see a being. Like there's a hot. It feels really hot. So my suggestion is for all of us. I don't know if he likes stones, but I'm seeing a really cooling blue stone, transparent, almost like a quartz. So if you want, you guys get like a $1 stone, and then put it next to his picture, and send him cooling energy of love. And music too. He loves music. I think he was gifted. Oh my God. I'm getting him being gifted as a child. He was like a child prodigy in some way, like music, almost like he could get me. You know, like some gifted autistic people, they just get music like just moving through his head. The music is moving through his head, the notes. And I think that in his case, maybe he had alien connection.
Yes.
I think he had alien connection.
He did.
Because the way his brain works, Norene, people that have alien connections, their brain works a little bit different. We're all different. Wow. By the way, all of us are gifted. All of us have talents. All of us are here to cherish and to grow and to become better. And then here's the thing. We're all a little bit different, and it's okay. It's okay, you know. It's okay. It's a wonderful thing, and we're blessed.
Well, if he had alien, he was involved with aliens as well. Where is he? Is he still involved with aliens? Is he still in contact with them? What happens when they die then, when they do have alien contact?
Well, so some people go with their alien family. Do you remember I told you I was doing a reading last time for this lady? I was doing a reading for this lady, and what I do is I ask them to breathe with me so that and then we become surrounded by white light to protect ourselves, because you need to protect it. And I was in the nighttime, and I saw all these stars shooting and moving, and I opened my eyes and I said, I'm sorry, but you must have an alien connection. And she said, yes, aliens are around me all the time. And so everyone is different, Norene. We can't really say because one person is alien. There's all kinds of aliens, number one. Number two, everyone has a different path. It's a universe of possibilities. You know, it's a multiverse. There's so many, the string theory, the multiple lives, you know, everyone has a little bit different. But David Bowie, I think he liked danger. This is what I'm trying to tell you, because he played there's a little bit of a dangerousness to it. I feel a little bit of a dangerousness. And I feel that when we cross over, we need to deal with everything, you know? So there's a little bit of that. But I hear him laughing. I hear him laughing now. He's laughing really loud, like he's got it all together. I think he was a little bit of a magician or a wizard. And I feel that he used laughter. I'm for sure he was a shaman. Because only shamans know how to use laughter this way. You know, the very ha ha ha, like that, you know, like ha ha ha. You know, like he has good laughter, you know? He's laughing, everything's okay. He's with people. He says, I'm with my people. He's saying that. I'm with my people.
That's awesome. Now, if somebody wants to get a reading, do they go to your website, Grace Divine?
Yes, and they can send me an email. And I can do it over the phone. I can do it, you know, over the phone, or email, or in person, whatever.
And you're also on Facebook, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I would love it for people to like my artist page or send me a friend request.
What is your artist page?
I have an artist page on Facebook. They just look up Grace Divine, and I don't know. It's on my website.
Okay.
My Facebook artist page.
Okay, great. Grace, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was such a pleasure. It was a pleasure to meet you as well, and we had a great conversation yesterday. Oh, it was supposed to be a couple of minutes, and it lasted quite a while, and it was a pleasure to have you on my show. Very high energy. The viewers loved you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Norene, and hey, I love your show. I'm a fan. You are awesome.
Thanks, honey. My best wishes to you. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll talk again.
All right.
Good night. Thank you. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show as I did. It was a pleasure to have her on the show. Very high energy. I've had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let me do some, listen, hey, next week, Let's next week. Let's see. That is okay. Next Thursday, David Weatherly is coming back. His new book is Haunted Toys. So I'm looking forward to that. So see you next Thursday. Don't forget the event will be up on the front page of my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to give the show a like, and if you haven't already done so, if you would subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I want to thank my mods, Royce Hinman and Unique Annie. Thank you so much for being here and helping out with the show. Love you guys. Let's do some fast shout outs. Hey, also have a great weekend, everyone, okay? And before we go, let's do some shout outs. Ginger Simmons, Paraprincess Patricia, Unique Annie, Tiger Jan, Darlene Skitzonator, Nancy Suplavita, B3 Airspace, Joe Hedrick, Joanne D, Elan Michael, Miller, Chippa Terry, there's Royce Hinman, Carl White. There you are, Carl. I didn't see you last week, but I said a shout out to you. Brenda Mullins, Diane Hilbert, Chanda Golf, Ginger Simmons, BCH Bounds, River, you made it. You didn't sleep through the show. Tammy, Super Tigress 75, Evan Bissett, Charmy Vapes Shits, Donella Daywood, Movie Star Memories, and Jan Lafferty. I wanted to also give her a shout out, Movie Star Memories. Anybody else want to shout out before we go? Anybody else want to shout out? J.L. Murphy, Jamie Hutchins, Chippa Terry, B Singer 11, Angela Rodriguez. Yeah, River usually sleeps for the shows these days, but he stuck it out tonight. Thanks, River. Maria Sandra Amador, Sandra Miller, Dashy Soul. Hey, don't forget, I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh, you were there. Okay, but you didn't come into chat, Carl. Lori Duffy. Don't forget, we're gonna do a show on ghost pictures, and I have some of the viewers have sent me some of their pictures, and we're gonna talk about that with Vanessa Hogel. She's gonna do a viewing on those pictures. I can't wait. Be Quiet Kitty, DBL Andy, Lori Duffy. Oh, from Greece. Awesome. Dashy Soul, hello from Greece. Yes, thanks. Joanne Gray, Kim Riley. Anybody else want to shout out before I go? Oh my God. My daughter, Capella Sampiere. Well, do you approve, daughter? Say hi to my daughter, Capella Sampiere. That's my daughter. Anybody else want to shout out? I know Jimmy Cortez was in earlier. I don't know if he's still in the chat room, but everybody, please give your well wishes and positive healing to Jimmy Cortez and to Royce as well. They really need your prayers. J.L. Murphy. Anybody else want to shout out? Painful 13. Yes, I am well. Thank you, Painful 13. Anybody else want to shout out? Yeah, I did. Yes, thanks, Royce. Jane Lafferty. I think that's what her name was, Royce. Was it Jane Lafferty from Scotland? She can't always watch the shows, but she watches the archives. Anybody else want to shout out before I go? Brandy Keller. Tammy Sifford, thank you. All right, everybody, I'm going to go now. Thank you again. Hi on, oh God, hi on Emmy. My daughter, Capella Sampiere, it's Jillian. I will see you on Saturday. I go over to her house every Saturday. We go grocery shopping. I cook dinner. My husband comes over from the USS Hornet, and we have dinner every Saturday night. Deidre Golden. Oh, thanks, Royce. Okay, everybody. I'm going to say goodnight now. My husband's waiting for me in the other room to have dinner. And I'll see you on Thursday. Don't forget, it's going to be a good show with David Weatherly on haunted toys. I can't wait. So everybody, good night. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the show. And I will see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend. Thank you.